Hello, and welcome. Name's Derek, and I sell physical media on eBay. I make videos about that stuff. This is a What's Sold video. Okay. That's one I haven't heard. Jive going. That morning going. That's enough. Stop. All right. So to start, I actually just replied to a comment. Someone came in and said that I'm stealing these. Actually, it was, "You're so successful, you're stealing boxes from the USPS." And then it goes on this little Dunning-Kruger notation that I'm going to have to face criminal and civil charges for using USPS boxes for the way I am. Unfortunately, for Mr. Dunning-Kruger, that applies to the misuse applies to me using a priority box and shipping it out parcel, me using a priority box and using USPS, me using other priority boxes within a priority box and use it as padding, me using one of these and covering up USPS in the priority box or the flat rate to try to circumvent the flat rate charges, so on and so forth. To use it in home, no problems there. Nice try, though. This packaging is part of the USPS Postal Service provided solely for the use of sending priority mail and priority mail international shipments. Misuses. Maybe. So there's a term that is very, very heavy in legal precedent. Is may be, and the word is and can and will all have different meanings. Maybe a violation. Misuse, maybe, or might. This package is not for resale. So to use them for this and not use them for boxes for shipping other than USPS priority medium, nope. But good point. Yes, I am that successful. I have to use these because these, as of right now, are temporary. And, I found them in the dumpster years and years and years ago. When you live in an apartment complex and complexes, people order things. Especially if you go back 5 years ago, a lot of people were ordering boxes to send stuff out. And because a lot of people were selling things, because a lot of people were sick. That addresses that. I answer questions, I address them, but I mean, as for you, which you're never going to return, but for anyone else, it's either I use them or they got in the trash. So which one is going to, the person who threw them away, who did absolutely nothing with them, who didn't ship them, that's not misuse. You ordered them with the intent to ship, or someone did, and they threw them out. Isn't that misuse? Yeah. You're not going to beat me with the twig. If you're going to come at me with something a lot that I have to break down and parse and research and look up. But nice try. At least you gave me something to talk about. All right. So it is 9 orders, 251. Could be a little better, but again, I'm not adding. I still have a small box of books, maybe 10 books, and I've just been doing self-similars. I took down all the flatware listings I had, and some of them were individual listings, and I put the patterns together, and it's just up 99 cents plus whatever the weight is. If it's 5 pounds 5 ounces for the flatware, then it's 5 pounds 5 ounces typed in. Something's already has a bid. Actually, it's going to be, if someone gets that for really, really good, they're going to get like $500 of flatware. So Candy, if you're watching and if you are interested in that flatware, whatever, there's that. You can bid on that. Can't offer any discounts on that. Or whatever's left is just going to be put in a medium flat rate box and shipped out medium flat rate. Got that, Mr. Consignment? So that would happen for that, or whatever type. I can also try to get that pattern ID box in. So there's that. All right, 9 orders. Start getting them. C23. Guitar Shorty. Bare knuckle. But that is also another part of it that, yeah, I want to obviously get. Actually, I just mentioned something in a video. I think one of my lives when I was putting this stuff away. That get something that's hold these better. So it's not these. And as much as that person who wrote that has the ability to write that, they have the ability to pick up the phone and call the police on me too. Mentor, Ohio. Say, call the Mentor police. Be like, I know someone who has a bunch of priority mail boxes that they're storing DVDs and CDs in them. I want the cops there and I want him arrested right now. Go on. I mean, though you'd you'd get transferred over to the postal police, which then would just hang up on you. Guitar Shorty. Guitar Shorty. Bare knuckle. $12. Across the pond. D17. New seal, The Passion of Bernadette. Had that one for a while. It's on the side. Passion of Bernadette. Not glare. 16. It feels like a reseal, right? But it's such a independent. I mean, this is a Ignatius Press. They make religious books. But I don't think it's resale. I think it's just the way on how they do it. And the total, and the other part of that comment that I got, it was yesterday's What Sold video, was that I'm raising the cost of shipping. Solely me. By having 60 boxes that cost, that I didn't order. Well, some, I probably have 10 that are in here that I did order, that I had from when I, either way. So the total cost of one of these boxes is maybe 3 cents by the mass and the bulk and how they buy them and have them made. Maybe 3 cents. So my total amount of that, I'm going to be very, 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 very generous and say my total amount of $5 of USPS material stuff that I've been using for 5 years is the reason why price of postage has gone up. It's like saying that the 2 drops of water you just took from the ocean is why it's now super, super salt diluted, right? Or me breathing right now is a reason why you got sick wherever you're at. Because I took that much air from you. Some people. All right. If you're going to come in with a comment, come in with something that can easily be corroborated. Arnie's Shack Galactic Zoo Dossier. C29. This one I've had for a while. That is not it, but that is Phil Kagi, another one of probably the greatest guitarists. Phil Kagi, local to Kent. Some people, I mean, he is nationwide, but his main, well, he plays it a lot, but it's a 12-string guitar. Interesting story between Phil Kagi and like Joe Walsh and a guitar or something. What I'm looking for. The dossier. And like I said, it's going to be over there. And I know I relisted it before the turn of the year, and then I did the reorganization in all these boxes. All right, this one here. 14. I turned the brightness down on this so it'll last longer while I was doing my live last night, tearing those electronics, more of them apart. I found a box that had that graphics card, and that box had a whole bunch of other stuff in it. But yeah, I mean, what I have as for scrap that's going to be able to be consolidated is maybe 1/10 the size of all the plastic. So instead of just junk taking up all this entire space right here, it's down to a box that's going to be like this. All the scrap metal and wire, and it's interesting. You know, it can be a can't really get involved in it now, but it's definitely a practice that pays for itself. C36 Atlantic Shadow King, self-titled. Shadow King, self-titled, $36. So where this one came from, not sure, don't remember. Actually, there's another better CD that's sold that's in here in this mix too. That's something that I was probably just at a thrift store, just grabbing. I was like, oh, I don't know, Shadow King, definitely interesting. Has that 90s. Let's see here, 1991 has that 90s look, and just a lot of people had that pose. All of them in kind of like a sepia type black and white pose or background or filter. Just so I was like, all right, I don't know it. So I put it down, and I have no idea really what it is. It's all just in a stack like this. As I have a stack that I'm sometimes I'll take them out right there and scan them, just put them right back. But if the rack is like this, much longer, I'm going to put a handful and then at the end, where I'll stack them up right here, right about where I left them at. That way I'm putting them back roughly where I got them. But either way, when I'm scanning, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, that's $30-$40. I'll buy it for 50 cents. Spend another 3 more minutes on it total, and maybe a little more because I have to talk about it in the video, but pays for itself. C30. Icing. This one's blue, so it should be easy to find. So I want to say answer, but to kind of continue with what, because I know he'll listen, continue with what the comment thread was about scrapping. Yeah, I mean, I watched other channels, and it just could have, I mean, it was just basically one of those things, all the eggs are in the basket. It's like, I've got the stuff, I have the tools, I have the patience, I have some basic know-how, because I tinkered with electronics for a little while, way when ago. I have an understanding of how to take things apart by watching some of the videos and having an understanding of some of the metals. And definitely now with just seeing that all the stuff, all steel, iron, especially gold and silver, are going, especially gold, going way up. I mean, I have some titanium eyeglass frames that are just junk that are going to get, so I'll put my magnet on those. I'm going to see which metal ones it doesn't pick up on, and the rest will be steel, which I'm not going to include. Steel's just going to add up. Stuff that's better than that, yeah, aluminum, titanium, brass, bronze, copper, all that. Definitely well worth to hold on to. I mean, it's all the way down here. It comes up as a Peter Pan brand. $14. One of these days I'll get to a point to where it's all stacked and I got everything the night before. But 9 or 10 that are going out doesn't really take 16, 18 minutes. Yeah, I mean, it'll be 20 minute, maybe a little over. Yeah, it's gonna be a little over. I used to make it to where the videos could be a little over a minute for each item. And then maybe a little bit after that. So if I had 10 items, I'd be like, yeah, 11, 12 minute video. But doing it like this, taking the stuff out, does add a little more time. If I had it all prepped and stacked right here, yeah, they're done quick. And the reason why I did a lot of them prepped and stacked, every video you kind of evolve a little. I just rewatched videos, when I sold the Never Ending Storybook. And so there's this book. And it's a first edition. The Never Ending Story. And it sold. That was my energy, my banter, right? So you just become more familiar and more comfortable. I mean, every single video you could choose to not add a whole bunch of stuff, and of course do little edits. But it's just interesting, especially when you start to get a few. I mean, it's not like this channel has tens of thousands of subscribers, but the more you get, the more different people comment, the more you feel you're doing something that they appreciate. And but it's also, if I watch one of those old videos and someone watch one's a new one, but yeah, something's wrong with that guy now. I was like, he drinks espresso. 6 months ago, he was pretty calm and collective, but you just get better and more comfortable. C41. Wolfman Jacks. Let's cruise. And this one has been around for a little while. There it is. I'm adding a bunch more, so this is in the middle, so I have had it for a while. Wolfman Jacks. $50. 50. Fatal Attraction, D39. So this is one of the two of these I have. Really? So $25. So if you're new here, I round up or round down. And that was 25.23, so I said 25. And it's free shipping on everything but auctions. And I don't do a lot of auctions, but I will this time of year when I'm consolidating a bunch of stuff that I don't want anymore, or whatever the situation may be. Most of all the new stuff that I get to list they're not going to be put up for auction. They will not be put up for auction. C31, Benny Goodman. Another thing I was explaining that I commented on, I was like, that's why there's tape around all these. That's why they're all beat up. Right? Not only for the use here, but because they were in the dumpster. C31 probably were put in by a dumpster by someone who was a reseller, and some other commenter came in on, perhaps they had a YouTube channel and said, hey, it's against the law. And then that person's like, no, it's not. And then they're like, oh, yeah, it is. And then they're like, no, man. And then they didn't believe him. And then the cops came and arrested him and sent him to prison forever for using a box to hold stuff in it in the privacy of his own home. So then people had to come by and do an estate sale, and they kept all the disc media or whatever he was storing in the boxes, and then threw all the boxes in the dumpster because the guy's now in prison. For doing stuff like that in his own home. Benny Goodman, $20. I think this book is it. It is. B25, Divine Liturgy. And a cool little religious book. Divine Liturgy, $42. So that one I think is just a little too wide to fit in one of the smaller envelopes I have. It's still, I mean, it's either 5 cents an envelope or 8 cents or 10 cents or 18 cents. 18 cents are going to be the bigger ones. That's going to be like 10 cents, 8 or 10 cents. It'll be the one that fits in the one that I paid 8 cents for. So it doesn't matter. It's not $1.50 a box plus another $1 for packaging materials. So that's $2.51, 9 orders. Sell similars, clean some stuff up. I'm going to start to kind of organize this scrap mess. I still don't want to go outside, but there's a whole tote. I added way more to it, a whole tote of plastic. So the live that I did last night, I'll make it public after this goes up, right? Because it has to have time to process. And then if you make it public and it has a process, then you're going to see this video not available and stuff. So it is 4 hours. I'm probably not going to make chapters. I might listen to it in the background or something, make chapters, but it's one of those, if you want to listen to me just kind of ramble on as I'm taking electronics apart, put on the background, the views from a replay from a live, I'm not super pressed about that, but you know, in there, of course, I do go on, not like bad tangents, but I do go on little explanations of things and what I think about this, what I think about that, and I do sing a couple times. What would you do if I sing a tune to try not to lend me your ear? 9 orders, $2.51. Wraps that one up. Like what you heard, like what you saw, like what you... that stuff. So tell me anything going up. Comment down below. Subscribe, share, those all free. They help me so we can help other people. Appreciate it. Thank you.